Okay, boys and girls, we are going today to make an anchor chart to help us remember the steps in ordering numbers. So you need a piece of notebook paper. I would say a pencil or pen for this one. Crayons might not work as well. We are laying our paper horizontally, and at the top we're writing ordering numbers. Now, when we're given a list of numbers to put in order or to order, usually those numbers are written horizontally to begin with. So we're going to start with a list of numbers. And let's write 23,456. Notice how I put each digit inside of one of the columns. That's why we turn our paper. It helps us keep our numbers nice and lined up, especially in a second when we write them vertically. So our first number is 23,456. I'm going to skip a couple spaces so my numbers don't run together. And this time, let's use the number 237,457. And then let's use the number let's use 15,690. So let's just use three numbers. If you have a list of 4 or 5 numbers, it's just the same process. All right, so they are written horizontally, which is what you normally see. The first thing we're going to do is to turn those numbers and write them vertically. And I'm going to start with my first number, and it is 23,456. Again, I'm using those lines. Now, when I go to write my next number, the most important thing about ordering numbers is that you keep it lined up in the ones column. So in the ones column here, I have a 7. And I just start with my ones column and work my way backwards. Now, you'll notice that if I had started and written my 2 underneath my 2 here, the whole thing would have shifted over and they wouldn't be lined up in the ones column. They have to stay lined up in the ones column, so that is so important, boys and girls. So I'm going to go to my third number, and again, I'm starting with the number in the ones column. So I have a 0, a 9, a 6, my comma, my 5, and my 1. So I have all three numbers now written vertically, and I'm ready now to write them back in the order they belong. So now we're going to go over and we're going to look. Remember, when you were comparing numbers, you always looked to the largest place? So that's what we're going to look at now. We have them lined up in the ones column, but now we're going to go over to our largest place and start comparing numbers. I have a 2 right here in the hundred thousands place. I don't have anything up here in the hundred thousands place, so I'm just going to put a 0. And then I'm going to put a 0 here, and that makes sure that all of my numbers now look like they're in a nice, neat box. Okay? All right, so let's start ordering them. We're going to start in our largest place, and we are ordering, and that's something I didn't put, we are going to order them this time least to greatest. Least means the smallest, greatest means the biggest. All right, so we need to look first for our least or our smallest number in this column. Well, I see a 0 here and I see a 0 here, and they're both smaller than that too. So since my zeros, I have 2 zeros that are the same, I have to now move to my next number. I have a 0 and a 2 and a 0 and a 1. Which one of those is the least or the smallest? Well, I know that 1 is smaller than 2, so this is going to be my smallest number. So I'm going to bring this number now, and I'm going to bring it back up to the top, and I'm going to write it. And then I'm just going to put one line through it because I'm finished. Looking at what I have left, I have a 0 and a 2. Which one of those is smaller? It is the 0, so that is going to be my smallest number. And when I bring these back up here and write them down, I'm not including that 0. That 0 was just here to hold my place, and I don't need that anymore. So what's left? 237,457. So now that I've done that, I'm not just going to say, oh, I'm finished. I'm going to go back and make sure that I have truly written them from least to greatest. And when I look, I see that in this first number, I have a 1 in the 10,000ths place, and I have a 2 in the 10,000ths place, so those are in order. That's the smallest, that's the next one. And when I slide down, I have a 2 over here in the 100,000ths place, so that means this number is larger than both of those. So they are indeed in order from smallest to greatest, least to greatest. If you're ordering from greatest to least, it's the same process, except this time when you looked over here, you would be looking for your largest number. Our largest number over here would be, we have a 0, a 2, and a 0. So my largest number would be a 2. So I'm going to come down here and do greatest to least. So I would put my 237,457. I'm going to mark that out. I have a 0 and a 0. So I have to move to my next number, 02, 01. Since we're going greatest to least this time, what is my greatest number, the 2 or the 1? It would be my 2. So it would be 23,456. And then, last but not least, 15,690. Once again, I'm going to check to make sure I did that correctly. Of course, this number is my greatest or largest number because it's a 237,000 as opposed to 23,000, 15,000. So that one is my greatest or my largest. Next, I have a 2 and a 1. My 2 is bigger, and then my 1. So that is in order from greatest to least. So here we did least to greatest. Here we did greatest to least. So that is an example of how to order those. I would like for you to take this piece of paper and put it in your math binder so that as you're ordering numbers in the next couple of days, it helps you to remember all of the steps so that you can order numbers. I hope you guys are having a great day.